wanted to quit. If you don't like yourself or you don't really necessarily like the things that are going on in your life, it does make it hard to share that. For so many years, I shared everything. I didn't think twice about it. I would just share it. My whole heart was in YouTube and creating videos. That's all I wanted to do all the time. When I posted my first video, I was like, you're gonna do this every week.
At what point did you start really growing an audience?
I would say it was around 15. Video after video, I would just find new things I wanted to post about, and eventually more people started watching.
Hannah Meloche, welcome to Post Run High.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hannah and I just got back from filming a running interview show episode.
Yes.
For everybody listening, Hannah is an OG YouTube content creator. She's also an entrepreneur. But let's start with the run. We ran about a mile. What is your favorite form of movement right now? And how was the run for you?
I'm a little bit out of shape right now, but normally working out is a huge part of like my everyday life. I feel like the best times, just best mental states are when I'm like working out once a day or walking once a day. Ideally, it would be a walk a day and I'm feeling amazing. But other than that, getting in like HIIT workouts, I love HIIT workouts, adding in weights to my routine. We were talking about going to workout classes because that's the easiest way. I feel like go into a class, get it done.
I'm such a workout class girl. When I was younger in college, in my early 20s, every day I was going out running like 6 miles. And now I feel like in order to get a great workout in, I just need to have somebody telling me what to do.
Class is so helpful.
Yep.
Wait, so you would go out and run 6 miles?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. My mom used to like love running like that. And I feel like I always kind of thought I was going to get into into it, but I never have.
But like you can go through phases with it. You know,
I want to get good at it like so badly.
Would you ever do a marathon?
Okay, I was just thinking about this and I feel like I've been seeing a lot about it. Or maybe it's just my age or what, like my algorithm, but I feel like I see so many things about running and marathons. And then I've seen people post like, you're either engaged or you're training for a marathon.
100%.
Is that not true?
It's so
like,
true.
What the hell?
I've done marathons before and I feel like it was when I was younger. Like I did a couple when I was in college and now I'm like, I really have no interest in doing a marathon.
Really?
I don't know why.
Was it hard on your body?
It's so hard on your body.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've never been a competitive runner. For me, it really was all just about just wellness and mental well-being. And that's why I loved that you said earlier that working out for you is for your mental health.
Yeah,
because
100%.
For me, it's fully that. Like the reward of being in shape is amazing as well. But like for some people, like that's not what happens to their bodies as a result of working out. So for me, it really fully is the mental.
It always is. And like, I love my like HIIT workouts. It's the same thing probably as like the high, like you get after running, but you just feel so good. And I don't know, I feel like it sets your day up for success and it leads into everything else that you're doing. It's like, oh, I just did a great workout. I'm taking care of myself. Might as well do all these other things and have a great day.
Okay, wait, I'm curious because you grew up in Michigan. Did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I actually played lacrosse too.
Oh my God. Okay, what? And did you play all through high school?
So I stopped when I was, I think, 15 or 16, kind of same as you, but to pursue YouTube.
So wait, that's so interesting.
Isn't that funny? So I was loving lacrosse and then I stopped because I was like, oh, I want to focus all my time into YouTube. And the funniest thing is my mom's like, well, what are you going to do to stay in shape? And I was like, oh, I'll go on runs. And I like didn't. I was like, I'll go on runs, Mom. Like that'll be my form of exercise. And she was like, okay.
Well, it's so interesting because you were in school. So yeah, it's like when you had extra time, I'm sure you had to lean into, like YouTube had to be what you were doing because it's like you couldn't probably do a sport and do YouTube at the level you were at, right?
Yeah, I totally could have like
think so?
done lacrosse and done YouTube. But like at the same time, I just was so distracted and my whole heart was in YouTube and creating videos. And that's all I wanted to do all the time. So taking a break to get dressed for lacrosse, to go to practice and then get home and shower, you're exhausted. It's like, that's where all my energy after school was going instead of like you taking 2 or 3 hours to do like prep for a YouTube video or edit. So I was like, I really want to put my time towards that.
Do you remember the first video that you created?
When I was 13, it was how to make DIY lipstick out of crayons.
That is the cutest thing ever.
So funny.
Yeah,
and it's me
that's
like
so
melting
13.
crayons. No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's me melting crayons like on our kitchen stove. I poured it into like this watercolor thing. And then I like took a brush and ew, it's like kind of gross. It's really random, but I like
Is it still up?
No, I took it down.
Oh my God, it must be wild to look back at your videos from when you were 13, like talk about a time capsule, right?
No, it's so nice. And that's the thing that I really do love about like at least having videos through my teens is I can go back at any moment. And I've always said this, but like for my future kids to go back and be like, yeah, this is what I was like. And, you know, this is what I was doing. But yeah, it's a great memory capsule for sure.
Because you've been online for so many years and since you were so young, you really have lived so many lives publicly too.
100%. Yeah. And I think that's what I've been bad at recently is I've been like more private.
That's fine though.
For sure. Yeah. But I do miss sharing things and having it be more public because there's that connection that comes with that of it's more of a friendship and people know what's going on in your life. And again, it does flow through those eras and I don't know, it's the connection and I feel like people get you more.
You've been so open online for so many years that even if you're taking a second to be a little bit more private, I think your followers and the people that really have grown up with you and know you can still understand you and what you're up to. They're like, she's just taking time to do her thing. She's going to be back at some point, you know?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I think people do get it too, but at a certain point it's like, I love keeping things to myself, but then I also like love sharing things, but you're right. I mean, it's also like a gut feeling. It's like the intuition of what you feel comfortable sharing and like that all comes with time too.
Yeah. I can imagine based on what you're saying right now, like it is kind of hard when you feel like, okay, well, I want to keep certain things to myself, but at the same time, like I love my audience and I want them to know what I'm up to. So how do you decide what you keep private and what you keep public?
Like lately, the past 2 years, that's something that I decide, do I want to post that? Do I not want to post that? And to be honest, I don't like it because it makes me overthink everything. It makes me overthink, oh, if I post about that, how is that going to affect me? And then I start caring about, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's made me overthink a lot.
Content can do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
100%.
everyone. Yeah, and I've only been in it for 2 years, and I feel like I go down like mental spirals all the time of overthinking. So I can't even imagine what you feel like.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot. And I feel like it's important to have a line of like what you want to share and what you don't want to share. Because for so many years, I think from when I started 13 to probably like 20, 21 is when I just like shared everything. It was just like what I was doing, blah, blah, blah. Like I didn't think twice about it. I would just share it. Now I'm kind of like, how is this going to affect the people around me? How does this affect this and that? And I don't know. For right now, I think it's just based off of like a gut intuition of, do I feel good sharing this? Is this going to, you know, connect with people, or is this just a memory I want to share?
Content really can make you overthink. I'm curious, like based off of this, what do you feel like right now is inspiring you creatively?
I think right now, what's interesting me is like fashion and putting together cute outfits and just doing cute little things for myself. Like that's kind of what's making me feel good.
I feel like it's so hard, especially you've been on social media for so long. Like we've talked about it, like you've gone through so many eras of different phases of content. Like maybe what you're feeling right now is just it's growth, honestly. It's like, okay, well, you're moving into this new chapter, which is it's so normal to feel like uneasy in those moments.
I think that comes with everything is like what makes you feel most comfortable and what makes you feel most confident. So I feel like that's what I've been trying to listen to. And honestly, like I'm about to be 24, but even in the past couple months, I can feel myself getting more comfortable with myself again. And like,
I love that.
Yeah. And that's amazing because you go through, I mean, I went through a stage where I was just like, if you don't like yourself or you don't really necessarily like the things that are going on in your life, it does make it hard to share that. But over the past couple of months, it's like so refreshing to start liking yourself and understanding yourself more again, because then it makes my job easier too of like sharing and connecting with people. So I don't know. I already feel the changes and everything too. It's like you go through stages.
You totally.
For sure.
It's so tempting to show yourself in this like positive light all the time. I'm curious, like when you're going through something, are you vulnerable with your followers and you're like, listen, I'm going through this right now?
When I was younger, I would kind of pick and choose when I wanted to like talk about things or open up about things. But when you do open up about certain topics or emotional things that are affecting you, sometimes I feel like, I mean, it's nothing you can take back. So I've posted videos of me crying, and you know, you get very emotional about things, which is totally fine. But then once you share that, it's like, it's not something you can take back. So I try and pick and choose, like, okay, is this only affecting me? Is this something that people can connect with and is going to be relatable and comforting? Or is this something that I need to like heal through in private and then talk about when I'm more healed?
Oh my God, that's a hard thing to figure out, honestly.
Because it's like some things you do just need to take a step back and have a moment for yourself. And if it still is important to you to like come online and be like, all right, look, this is what I was going through. This is how I dealt with it. I think that can be very comforting. But then there's also those moments when you're like in the thick of it, that like crying to the camera or opening up, that can also be super helpful. So I think it's just like picking and choosing what you want to share. Again,
taking a step back to when you were 13 and you start posting on YouTube for the first time. What was it that inspired you to start posting content?
I loved Bethany Moda. Like, I loved watching her videos.
I feel like I don't know who Bethany Moda is. Now I'm like, was I
oh
a
my
YouTuber?
God. You need to go back and like watch her morning routines.
Okay, I will. I will.
She's so
Bethany
cute.
Moda, shout out.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
How old is she now? Like, is she your age or?
Probably 27, 28.
Oh my God, okay, I have to watch her.
I watched
Crazy.
her when she was, I think, 17 or 18, and I was like 11, 12, 13.
So cute.
I thought she was so cute, so positive. She had her morning routines, her like monthly favorite videos, her beauty fashion videos. And so I begged my mom for a camera for Christmas, and then I kind of got used to it and then posted my first video a couple months later. And I mean, they were pretty bad at first. Like, obviously it's like the DIY lipstick out of crayons. It's like, yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. But then I don't know, I just kind of looked up to her. Like, I loved the beauty fashion lifestyle back then, was like the morning routine or like how to have the best morning. So I just stuck to that at first because I loved her videos, and I was like, I can do this in my own way. And then I think it's when that's when vlogging and like incorporating more of your life came into the picture of like, oh, I could actually take my camera to school and I can actually like vlog with my friends. Right. So then it turned from I want to do like beauty fashion videos to I want this to be like a memory capsule of my life. I don't think I started actually vlogging till I was maybe 15, but I would, for like 2 years, I would just do like Easter outfit ideas and
that's so
random
cute.
stuff like that. I just went on YouTube, and I think like I told myself like, you're gonna post every week, and I loved it. I don't know what it was, but it was Bethany Moda, obviously. I was like, oh, love her. I want to do that for myself. I just decided when I posted my first video, I was like, you're going to do this every week. You're going to post. And I posted like weekly for a really long time.
At what point did you start really growing an audience? Was it pretty quick that people started following your content?
Honestly, not really. I didn't have too much of an audience for a year or two. I would say it was around 15. I started doing like, that's when I started going into like workout videos and like concept videos and really opening myself up to just, different content. I think one video that did well for me, the first video that did well for me was like 10 things to do at a sleepover when you're bored.
And that's a great like SEO title also.
Yeah.
In terms of like, people want to know what to do at a sleepover. It's cute.
Isn't that cute? So it was like in 6th grade, and me and my friend, it was like just a cute video. But that was the first video I think that did well for me. And then I did like trying to be a model for a day. And I was like, oh, I'm going to train like a model and I'm going to eat like a model. I was like 15 or 16. It's like, what the hell? Like, you don't know
it's so true,
what's going on. And then I did like a photo shoot with my friend. When I started branching out into more lifestyle, that's when things started to do well. But my channel didn't, I think it was around 15 is when I started actually noticing people watching, and I was like, oh, sweet. It was a sleepover video that took off at first. and it was with my friend Paige, and I was like, oh my gosh, look, people are actually watching.
That's crazy. I mean, it must be so wild too. And then it's like the numbers that you started to get were like probably so hard to even fathom at the time. To be a high schooler and a million people are watching your content, especially in those days when YouTube was so new, honestly, right?
Yeah, I think at first I'm just happy my mom kind of like let me do my thing, because looking back, a lot of it's like kind of cringe that I was like putting myself out there that much. Or I was just, I mean, I was in, 5th or 6th grade. No, wait, how old are you when you're 13? 6th grade? 6th, 7th, 8th grade, but middle school, it's like those are cringy years. Right. And you're putting yourself out there, but my mom just like let me do my thing, and video after video, I would just find new things I wanted to post about, and eventually, more people started watching. And I think the most exciting time was still probably in the beginning, when like people are interacting with your content and you feel seen, and you're like, oh my gosh, finally posting and doing all of this is paying off, and people are actually seeing this and interacting with me. Like, that was so cool.
What did your parents think when your channel started taking off?
I don't even know. Like, anything that I ever wanted to do, she would just support me in. I mean, it was even random stuff. Like, I had no subscribers, but I was like, I want to go to the beauty con. Like, I really want to meet my favorite YouTubers, and I want to be there with my friends, because I had internet friends. And I was like, I really want to go, be there. She's like, okay. Found a way to make the New York trip happen. Found a way for me to basically just kind of, pursue YouTube in the way that I wanted to, and was never judgmental. Was never like, oh, don't talk about that, or don't post that, or don't wear that. Which obviously, as a mom, should be so supportive, like do what you want, but just never any limits with her, and she would help me with whatever.
It makes sense, because it's like a parent would be just as supportive with a sport, and YouTube became your sport, from what you're saying, right? Like that became your thing after school to focus on. So it's so cool. At the time within your school, were you one of the only YouTubers?
Honestly, I feel like there were a couple other people that would post videos and stuff, but it was definitely like Hannah's making another video.
What did people think when you started popping off on YouTube? Like, were people accepting of it? Did you ever get like haters from it in your school?
At first, I don't know what it was. I was so confident. When I first started my channel, I was like 13. I'm like, I'm posting my lipstick videos and how to make a Starbucks Frappuccino video. Like, and I think people probably were making fun of me at the time.
You come across to me as like you were probably just a really social kid in school, and then that's what you started doing, versus I feel like there's some kids that probably started out on YouTube because they were just like in their houses kind of like alone posting content, right?
I was a little bit of an introvert. I have a really weird dynamic where sometimes I was so confident, like, but also shy. There were kids when I first started that were like teasing me, which we were 13, 14, so it's like, but
classic,
or it'd be like, oh, nice video, Hannah, and it's like, but it didn't affect me when I was 13, 14. Like, when you're a kid, I feel like you just don't care. You're
I
like,
love that.
I'm awesome. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I love that energy.
And I don't know what it was, but it must have been a big part of it. Must have been my mom, like, really reassuring me of like, do whatever you want. Like, oh, you want to edit, you want to post. Like, I mean, she would make me like work for things too, or meet me halfway with buying a new computer or whatever else it was. But she, for the most part, she was like, whatever you want to do. As my channel started to grow, when I was like 15, 16, it really started to grow. And then that's when it became I was a little bit of like an outcast of like, it was like, oh, weird YouTube girl, posting again.
I could see that happening. But then it's like, I like love the confidence factor though. Cause I think anytime anybody does anything in confidence, it's like, what are you going to say?
It was kind of like that where I loved my videos, and it was like, guys, I've been, I started getting teased and made fun of more when I was like 16, when the channel started to do well. But it was like, I've been going to the same school. I've been doing this for 3 years. Like, where's like, why are we making this a joke all of a sudden? Like, it's like, we know that I've been loving to do this. Like, so it was a little bit hurtful, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. It did make me insecure, but it didn't at the same time. I mean, I wanted to quit, like, for sure. When I got, I think I was a junior, and like, I loved my life, I loved my videos, I loved my friends, but when you're going to school and you feel like a little unwelcomed, that's when I was like, okay, I still want my friends, I still want YouTube, but this is like a really weird dynamic here at school. And so I tried to let my mom, or I tried to convince my mom to let me drop out. And it was just a little bit awkward because my house was so close to the school that it's like, okay, are you really going to drop out of high school because people are being mean to you to go sit in your room, make videos in your room, do school in your room, and be isolated? So my mom's like, you should really try to stay. And I ended up staying, and thankfully it got so much better. I think people always come around.
Yeah,
like
they do.
sucked. It sucked junior year. Like I really don't think people liked me, and I didn't have that many close friends, but I had my siblings. I had a great boyfriend. Like I had a great support system. It all ended up fine. And my senior year, I had a great year.
It's hard when you're in a situation where you're at school and like you're kind of like in this unique situation where you're the only person doing what you were doing, right? Like you were the only person putting yourself out there in that way. I know I, as a content creator over the past couple of years, have made such great friends within the industry. I'm curious, like when you were in high school, was it nice making friends with other girls and guys that were in the industry that kind of saw what you were doing and understood it on another level?
It was so comforting to have friends outside of my high school that saw me for me. They weren't like judging literally anything, and they got it because like they were doing their own thing with social media too. So it was so nice to have friends in the industry. It was like probably my favorite part about like everything.
Did you see a lot of growth from having close friends in the industry that you were creating content with and all of you guys were collabing?
It was really fun because it was like on the weekends, if I got a chance to go visit one of my friends, I was like, I'm going to go. Like, I'm going to go see my friends. And so that was my escape to go see my friends, go have fun, make videos, come back, go to school, edit my videos, post them. Like, I was on a roll, and being able to take those weekend trips and like see my friends, it filled me up so much. Like I was having so much fun. I've met so many like amazing people through YouTube, so many like opportunities through YouTube. And I think it's like those are some of the friendships and relationships that like inspired me and like kept me going.
And they understand you on a level that is so, it's just so different when people know you from like the root of it all. Do you remember the first time you got recognized in public?
I was at a football game, and someone from the other school came into our student section and like saw me, and they were like, oh my God, like I watch your videos. But I was so confused because I'm like, no one's ever like watched my videos or like come up to me and said that in person. It was all online, like little comments. And so for someone to come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, no, I've seen your videos, I was like, wait, really? Whoa.
It must have felt so rewarding.
No, it was. It was cool too to like, meet them in person. And I don't think, I wasn't growing back then at all. So it was like, I think I met that person, and then maybe it was a couple months, and then someone else would say, oh, I've seen your videos before. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? And then it was just kind of slow after that. But it was cool. Yeah, I do remember the first time.
It's like an adrenaline rush because you're like, what? And I swear it's like, it's whenever you have like a rush of adrenaline, you remember those moments.
You do.
Whether it's like a scary moment or a happy moment.
Yeah, because I'm like, is this embarrassing? Like, did you like it? Or like, what?
Is this embarrassing? Stop. It's not embarrassing. It's very cool. Like, I was always so impressed by you, and I thought it was so inspiring. So I think it's awesome. You ended up graduating high school, and then I know you took a gap year and you moved to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, so I took a gap year, and COVID happened after that gap year. So it was like I moved back home. It was more of like 2 years.
How did you decide to do a gap year versus going to school?
I think I just knew like YouTube was all I had been doing during high school, and I've always wanted to pursue film or marketing, something in that category, but I was like, okay, I've been doing this for 5 years. I can continue with it, and I can always go back to school.
And the craziest thing, really quick, is that you were supporting yourself by the time you were how old?
I would say like 17, like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I didn't really even know, like back then, like this could, last. It could be a career. I was just like, oh, this is cool that this is happening right now. But I didn't know I was going to continue to do it, or if I was going to stop and go to college. But I just put so much work into YouTube that I was like, no, I don't really want to give up. I really want to still pursue it. And then all my friends were at school, so it was a little bit more isolating than I thought, because I was like a little bit alone, still doing YouTube. It felt like, okay, I'm still doing YouTube. Like, what else can I do? But then
And you were still in Michigan at
I was
this
still in
time.
Michigan.
Yeah.
I had my apartment alone, and
Right.
I just felt like, all right.
Oh, so at 18, like when
Yeah.
your friends went to college and you decided to take the gap year, you got your own apartment.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, but I was just in my apartment. I was working out. I was, I'd see my friends when I could, but like, it kind of felt like, I was doing YouTube still, and my friends went to college. It just felt a little weird. I thought I was going to travel more, but that didn't really end up happening. I thought I was going to travel all these places, but then you don't want to travel alone because you're 18, and it's like, how do you find someone to travel with you and help you with your stuff? But then COVID happened, and so I just moved back to my mom's house. And she was like, all right, well, if you're going to be here, you're going to take some college classes. So I was like, okay, I'll take college classes. And then I did some online school for a little bit. And that's when I was doing online school in Michigan. I mean, it was in the middle of winter. So I was like, shoot, I kind of want to just do online school in Hawaii for a little bit and just see how I like it. Because
epic mindset, right?
It was
you're
fun.
like, let me just go to Hawaii.
It was really fun. And then one of my best friends, Ava, like lived on Oahu. So I was like, okay, one of my best friends is there. If all, goes wrong, I'll go back to Michigan. But it was kind of just like, I want to do online school in Hawaii for a little bit. It's nicer there, and I can still work. Like, I can work anywhere.
And is it true that you had moved there with the intention of like being there for 1 month, and then you quickly were like, let me just make this a year, and then it became 2, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, I moved there, and within the first week, I was like, I really want to look for a spot longer than a month.
I feel like that was probably so fun for you too, because by moving to Hawaii and being with all kids your age, you're like, that was kind of your college experience, right?
Yeah, it was for a little bit. I think it was such a unique time where I didn't really even know. I didn't know I was going to go there and all that was going to happen. But it was like my leaving my hometown experience. And so that was my first time like really meeting people in a new community and figuring all that out for myself.
How do you feel like you grew as a person being in Hawaii?
I've learned so much from living there.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those places that's like very spiritual and kind of changes you.
It is. It is. And the culture is so beautiful there. I think the biggest part about the Hawaiian culture is to be respectful, and everyone there is so kind and patient that I've learned so much just from being there. And I love living there. I love the lifestyle. I love the culture. And I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away, is to just be respectful. Because when I first moved there, I was just like, oh, I'm just going for a couple months. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And I was just, documenting everything like I normally do. And once you take a step back from that, it's like, slow it down, look at everything. And now I'm much more like intentional, and it's such a beautiful place too.
Hawaii is one of the places that I've never been, and I am dying to go. It's just such a far trip from the East Coast. We're going to be in LA for January and maybe February. So I'm like, we're going to get in at least 1 or 2 weekend trips to go see it, because I have some friends that are like obsessed with going, and I'm like, I really need to go.
Especially from LA, it's not that bad.
Going back to Hawaii though, when you were 18, that's when you started Starlite Village, right? Your jewelry brand while you were there?
So I started Starlite when I was 18. Started Starlite, did that a little bit with partners. So my first partner was in LA, and then my next partner was in New York. And so I basically just did all the designing and marketing with them virtually. And then we took it in-house. So my partner, McKenna, she's in Hawaii with me. So Starlight's in Hawaii now.
What made you want to start a jewelry company?
So at first it started with like these sets. I made these 5 sets of like sunsets, moon sets, lightning bolt, and I had different meanings behind the necklace. Like, oh, when you wear this sun necklace, I hope you radiate joy. And I had all this like positive messaging behind the symbols. And so that's what inspired me to start the company. Is I was like, oh, I want to make meaningful jewelry that people can wear. And then after getting into it a little bit, I found out you could do more with recycled jewelry and like recycled sterling silver. And so after I figured out that we could make jewelry sustainable and affordable, or more sustainable, I was like, oh, I really want to go that route. And so it was hard though, because the other two partners that I was with, they were great to work with, but they didn't really want to go the sustainable route, or we didn't really have the options to. So that's when we took it in-house. Now that it's in Hawaii, we have a manufacturer that, it's actual recycled sterling silver, so it's like melted down silver, and it's sustainable and it's personal. So it's changed a little bit, but
I mean, that's cool.
yeah,
It's
I love
right.
that it's sustainable. That's like my favorite part now.
A lot of people want to make things that are sustainable, but it's so hard to figure it out at first. So it's cool knowing that like you guys eventually got to that point where now it's a sustainable brand. And I know you just did your first pop-up in New York City.
Yeah, that was
How
so fun.
Yeah.
That was so fun. I was with, so it was Starlite Village and then By Zoya, which is my friend's brand. And then we did Funny Pretty Nice. And so, yeah, it was like just a cute storefront, so fun to decorate. Then we had all of our stuff in there, and our friends were working the pop-up, and yeah, people would come in and say hi. It was great.
After doing the pop-up experience, would you ever want to open your own store in a city and have a permanent location, or no?
I think that could be fun. I feel like I have so much work I want to do with the brand first, because you need, like, there has to be so many aspects of the brand to have like a storefront. So I think I would want to continue to work on it and like really build Starlite.
I love pop-ups. Like
That'd be
I personally
fun.
think as a brand, like pop-ups are such a good route because it's like you don't really need a storefront.
I know.
'Cause with
Storefronts?
e-commerce,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say like if I lived in New York, I think it'd be cool to like have a
Right.
store, because then you go in and you can see people and
It
like
could also
interact
be your
with
like
people.
office that you kind of
Yes.
like work out of. Yeah.
100%. So if it was that situation, I think I would. But since I don't know. I don't think I would unless I lived in the city.
Could you ever see yourself living in New York?
I could. I really could. I think realistically, I don't know if it would happen anytime soon, but I mean, I like visiting a lot, like for a week or two at a time. That's perfect. Go back to Michigan, go back to Hawaii, like whatever is kind of going on, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Your home right now is Michigan. So it's like, it's nice to be able to travel. I think that's the best part of our jobs is the ability to be flexible with where you live.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, going off of Starlite, what are you excited about that you have coming up?
So for Starlite, I have a pop-up actually in New York, which is so funny. It's with Zoya and Funny Pretty Nice. That's the pop-up is next weekend. And then at the same time, I have a pop-up in Hawaii for my friend's fashion show.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's the same day. There's 2 pop-ups going on.
Oh my
Which is
God.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But yeah, that's just how the timing worked out. But that's super fun. The
Yeah.
fashion show in Hawaii is incredible. It's like there's so many supportive women there. So that'll be great. I'm going to be there and then have friends work this New York one.
Going off of that, I have my final question for you. I like to end our podcasts with a manifestation so that the next time I see you, we can check in, see how the manifestation has come into fruition. But what are we manifesting for 2025?
Honestly, hard work and just enjoying life with friends and family, like really enjoying and being present.
Is there a specific thing that you want that's like a goal that you're like, okay, like let's say it right now?
What would be like an example for you?
I really want to master the art of conversation and get really good at my sit-down interviews.
Love that.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I'm trying.
I literally forgot we were doing a podcast. Like, I'm not kidding.
But like that's a very specific goal for me.
I'm changing mine.
Okay, change it.
In the next year, I want to get really consistent. I really just want to put out good stuff and be consistent with it. That's
see that for
my
you.
Yeah. That's
We're
really
gonna
what
get
I want to do. I know. Okay.
That's it.
I love it. Thanks
Hannah,
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on.
So fun.